Hey, and welcome to Open for Views. Today's game break is Forgotten Worlds for the Sega Genesis. Popping into the Model 1 right now. And I'm making a mistake by using my 6-button Sega Genesis controller. And I'm going to show you why. The game has a really good bug. So if you start the game with a 6-button controller, everything seems normal. You get your opening cutscene with Bios, the guy who turned Earth into Dust World. Did you find him? Don't worry, we'll finish him today. Game over. The fight is over before it even begins. It's because you can't use the 6-button Sega Genesis controller. So what you do is you put your game into your Sega Genesis and you hold the mode button on your 6-button controller, and then the game will work. It makes it think it's a 3-button controller. Forgotten Worlds was released in 1988 in arcades by Capcom. It was the first CP system game, the first Capcom system game. And Capcom spent a ton of money on it. A ton of money. And they lost a lot of money with Forgotten Worlds. And it was eventually ported to a bunch of stuff, but namely the Mega Drive in '89 and then the Sega Genesis in early 1990. The team that worked on Forgotten Worlds is essentially the stuff of legends. You had Akiman, you had Okamoto, which are two people that were instrumental in Street Fighter, Sidearms, Gunsmoke, Final Fight. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Okamoto, in particular, went on to found Game Republic, which made some really interesting action games in the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 generation. Namely things like Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom, which is kind of like a puzzle action game, and Knight's Contract, which is pretty much a straight action game. But he didn't achieve true success at Game Republic until he released Monster Strike. It's a cell phone mobile game. We entered a shop right here in Forgotten Worlds, and it's kind of similar to Fantasy Zone that Sega released. And you get you gather money, you gather Zenny, that's Capcom's money. You gather your Zenny and you can buy upgrades, you can buy more health, new information. And if I'm not mistaken, it tells you how to, bosses' weak points, stuff like that. We're not going to buy anything today. The music was done by, what is her name? Tamayo Okamoto. And you've heard her music. She worked on Ghouls and Ghosts. She worked on Commando, and she eventually joined, after she left Capcom rather, she joined Zuntata, which is essentially a Japanese video game music supergroup similar to Falcom's JDK. But Forgotten Worlds is a absolutely radical shooter. You rotate your character counterclockwise by pressing the A button, clockwise with the C button, and you fire with B. You have your little option right here you see that's floating around you. There's all sorts of upgrades that you can gather. Lots of bosses. The only unfortunate thing is, here's actually the first boss. The only unfortunate thing about the Mega Drive and Sega Genesis version of Forgotten Worlds, or Lost Worlds as it's called in Japan, is that there's only 7 of the 9 stages that are found in the arcade version. But it doesn't stop it from being actually a really, really well done port. Come on. I want this boss to get blown up. This very funny looking boss. You know what I'm talking about. Oh no. Game over. Well, see, we didn't. It's open for views. So you're not going to get what you want by seeing me beat stages and beat games. But check it, definitely check out Forgotten Worlds. Very, very awesome shooter with some cool ideas. The item shop is fun. The music is really memorable. Super ultra responsive. But it's a very highly recommended game coming from me. But the time has come. We were open before, but now we're closed. Beat it.